Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. Support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys. Head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Our lives! Oh, they're so good!
Existing!
I'm so happy! Oh, gosh. Hello, everyone.
Hi!
Another episode of Hypecast!
Hype!
The show where we get hyped about stuff and things. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm your other co-host, David Bell.
And there's a third person!
Is that? Do I introduce myself on the show? Sorry, I didn't know you guys were running such an operation.
Woo!
No,
You don't have to.
Man, I think I've been on the Hypecast more than anyone else. I think.
I think
Maybe.
so. Well,
Yeah.
not counting me
Maybe?
and Tom.
Yeah.
I think which is pretty cool. And this is Abe Epperson. That's the voice you're hearing right now.
It's
he
the
thinks
coolest.
that's pretty cool.
Abe.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being
Of
on.
course.
I'm a big fan. Big hype coming from
We're
Yeah,
fans.
Big Papa
Yeah.
Hype, as he's known.
Big Papa Hype. That's where that's who I am. That's what you call it.
That's me. That's who I am. That's what
Please.
you're gonna get.
Refer to me as Big Papa Hype.
Yeah. Abe, I started listening to, and I've only gotten like 20 minutes into you guys covering adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
And I without like, you don't have to spoil it, but I get the sense that you're like, you got something in the barrel.
I'm biding my time.
Again, I haven't I haven't gotten to that point, but it just seems like you got something in the barrel.
You'll have to see, you know?
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah.
like you're plotting something.
Yeah.
Heroes are often made in Act 3, so...
But yeah, how you doing? Welcome. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah,
Abe,
I'm good.
I finished the dick.
Oh, in Minecraft, you're talking about the
The phrase going to be
deep cut.
interpreted in a number of ways. Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
you did. So you skin the dick. You put the dick skin on the dick.
Got to flay that dick.
That is, dear reader, let me tell you, that's a lot of work. Dave's been putting in the time.
It's a copper dick.
It's copper.
So it's hard to mine copper. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
You have to smelt the copper.
Yeah.
It's a whole part of the process.
It's been months. But I wanted to let you know.
Let me ask you, because you've made like 8 dicks now. So every time we make in Minecraft, every time we make a new Minecraft world, group of friends that involves Dave and I, Dave makes a dick in the sky, and it's usually bigger or more robust, different sizes. You know, it's all.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know from you, Dave, is it satisfying every time? Did you, when you completed the dick this time, did it give you just as much joy as the first dick you penned in our worlds?
Absolutely.
That's great, man.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
Well, yeah. I've had dicks in the past that I did not feel satisfied with.
Really?
The ice stick, for example, was a lot of work, and then when we completed it, it was like, oh, it doesn't even look that good.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes a dick isn't worth it, but in this case, it was.
Well, Wise Dave always chiming in with the sound.
This
bites.
isn't about my dick, though. How's
It's about the
how's all
world's
your
dick.
dicks?
How's my dick?
How's you guys' dicks?
You know,
Chilling out.
Yeah.
yeah,
Let's,
just kind of chill, just kind of resting,
just hanging
you
in
know?
there. Let's start the
Hanging in
show.
there.
Let's start the show.
Hi.
Yeah!
Yes! Listen, we got producers to thank.
Sure do.
There's one new producer, but they haven't replied to me yet. So reply to me, new producer. I asked you what name. We'll get you next time. But for now, big thanks to @NerdNumbers, which is, I think, also a new producer.
Who can say?
So thank you. I don't know. Thank you to Mike the Lurker and Lover. Went ahead and changed that. Thank you to DJ Finney. Thank you to the Indignant Eel. Thank you to Look Ma, I'm on a podcast. Thank you to Children Love the Meat Millie.
Woo.
Thank you to Grumblebee.
Woo.
Thank you to Screaming Horse Pyramid. Thank you to Del Griffith, the shower curtain fella. Thank you to Lef. Thank you to Seismic Charge Noise. Wham. Thank you to Deborah is awesome. Barbara is great, and cancer can go to hell.
Yeah!
Thank you to Numino Ultra Microscopic Silico Volcano Coniosis Jones.
Yeah.
Thank you to the baby from Eraserhead. Thank you to Chiz Lily Tits. Thank you.
Let me swoop in here. Thank you to these 7 Bs. Thank you to
Thank
Breezy
you.
Ruizy. Thank you to Davey
Thank you.
Francis for the Revenge.
Thank
Thank
you.
you to MVB.
Thanks.
Thank you to Chester's Prophet.
Thank
Thank
you.
you to Definitely Not Guillermo del Toro.
Thank you.
Thank you to Brian, who Tom knows. Thank you to
Thank
Bob
you.
Grenville. Thank you
Thank
to
you.
Steven.
Thank you.
Thank you to Down Home Chicken. Thank you to
Thank you.
Hantumi, the Confused Cyborg.
Thank
Thank you to Asking 7.
Thank
Thank you to Happy Ed 209.
Thank
you to Tom and Dave are good writers. Follow them at Collider and some more news.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger Drawers Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling upon my head.
Thank you.
And thank you to Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you.
You beautiful sons of bitches.
Yeah. Let's all right, let's get right into this Spider-Man No Way Home new trailer. Everybody was so pumped. There was going to be multiple Spider-Mans and then there wasn't.
We were part of it, but there was like a whole fan event like debuting the trailer. Can you
They
imagine
had people wait in line.
going to a theater and waiting in line to watch a 2.5-minute trailer that's mostly shit you've already seen?
Yeah.
God,
You
I
could
love
just
these
watch
movies.
You can just watch it at home.
Yeah, you just watch it at home.
What do you guys think about this? I feel like I've already stated I'm excited for this despite all reason.
Yeah.
What do you guys? Hey, what's your thoughts on this?
I don't have many thoughts on the trailer. It's a fine trailer. It's what we come to expect.
Yeah.
It's McDonald's, the burger, the trailer, the movie.
Oh man,
It's
yeah,
Marvel,
it is
baby.
just it's McDonald's. It's all
Yeah,
McDonald's.
it's just you know what you're gonna get. Here's my thoughts is in the Marvel universe. This movie, and to a greater extent, it looks like now that we know kind of what the bag of tricks are because there's been publicity, photos, Twitter's been all a Twitter about who's in the movie and screen grabs and whatnot. There was I don't know if it was a leak or if they released photos or something like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
But it seems like this movie and what's the Doctor Strange one? The
Multiverse of Madness.
There you go. It's the pivot movies, right? These are the movies where they pivot from the previous old dead-ass generation of old dead-ass actors.
Dead sacks of dead.
Yeah. Bringing in the new hotnesses. And of course, it makes sense that Spider-Man is the one to, usher that in. He's the young kid on the block. But he still gets ushered in because he was in the Civil War and whatnot.
Yeah, I think they go for overlapping, right? That's what they like to do is we bring in the new stuff, but we have to sort of use this overlap system.
And so I sees this and I says that it's okay, there's not that many bag of tricks that I'm not aware of, and this trailer didn't give me. I kind of know what this movie is already. just based on like, okay, here are the villains, these are the scenes. That means Multiverse of Madness is going to be off the chain, right? Or they screwed this up.
Well, I would say what it really feels like, what this and Multiverse of Madness is serving is basically just a wild card that the writers get to play to do whatever the fuck they want, right?
Sure.
That I'm imagining at some point a vortex will open and Patrick Stewart will walk through as
and tell us
Professor
about
X.
tell us about the Star Trek initiative.
Yeah. No, like I'm imagining this is going to be their way to basically work in whatever canon they want for the next phase to get fans excited. And that's why I hate that it's working for me. That seeing rubber-faced Alfred Molina, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm not excited for any of the Amazing Spider-Man villains, because why would I be?
I wasn't excited the first time about the sand guy.
Well, that's Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
And I'm not excited for
sand
Sand
really
Guy.
need a Thomas Hayden Church crying in like a grain silo. I really need a scene where he's like crying about. I don't even remember what he's crying about in those movies.
He was crying about his sick daughter.
His sick daughter. There you go.
Who was
really
sick with
personal.
Plot device.
They just pick one specific villain and they're just like, let's get real personal with this one.
Yeah, let's make.
They don't have
movie.
time. They have no time to do any of that. It's just going to be like, the portal opens and then there's these things come out and then.
That is what it's going to be.
All, and then it closes. They beat them and then they're like, bye.
Yeah. No. That I think that's
Electro.
what fans are going to be pissed at is that I bet most of this stuff, except for Doc Ock, most of this stuff I feel like is going to be introduced in the last act. Yeah. It seems like they're setting up Sinister Six too, right? And the idea, because what it feels like to me is that the main conflict is actually between Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, and then it actually feels like they team up with Doc Ock. Like
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. What I'm guessing is some event will happen that it will introduce Doc Ock early. He'll be there for most of the movie, and it's the idea of we just want to live. They have that weird idea of they're all dead in their universes, even though some of the characters didn't die.
Specifically,
that
weren't,
actually be good. That actually, because then you get, who's the villain? Then is Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Because then he's like, no, you need to pick a universe, kid. And he's like, I don't want to pick a universe. They all deserve to live. Nah, that's not how this goes. You know.
Yes,
it would
and what's probably
with the Loki shit and all that.
And what's probably going to happen, and this is how they make it not interesting again, is that ultimately Doctor Strange won't be the villain. They're setting him up as like the Tony Stark, right? In Civil War. But then in Civil War, they introduce, this is the actual villain. Like, instead of actually creating a complicated situation between two protagonists, they'll probably just give them a common enemy. I'm guessing that's the Green Goblin. I'm guessing there'll be one of these. Like that, they're like, look, we're not going to include them in Sinister Six.
I hope it's none of them, but it should be because we don't need more characters.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that's what it will be, and then I'm guessing they'll just do Doc Ock again, doing like a self-sacrifice or whatever to like close whatever bullshit at the end, but it's not quite closed, or maybe there's other people in the universe, or. I'm also imagining like maybe Tobey Maguire or one of them sacrificing themselves. I think they're actually going to kill some of these people because I'm guessing they're not going to.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm guessing Tobey Maguire isn't going to be involved in more movies.
No, there's a really, really funny shot in this trailer that's been gifed a bunch already, so you may have already seen it. But I wish with all of my heart that it would remain in the finished film, even though I know it won't. It's in that last one of the, like that money shot toward the end where it's like Big Sandboy and Electro and Lizard like jumping towards old Webhead and Spidey's coming at them, and it's like all slow motion and cool and shit. If you watch Lizard down at the bottom of the screen, if you watch him. He very clearly gets punched in the face. Like his head snaps all the way around like it collided with somebody, but there's nothing there. So, what
they
it
may
almost
have-
certainly means is that they've
Whoa.
removed one of the other Spider-Men from the trailer to preserve the
Yes.
surprise. But I
Yes.
really
Yeah.
want that shot to just be in the movie.
Forever.
yeah.
He's just
he got
nailing
ass
his face on
hit by
some
air.
fucking intangible shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
that'd be
want-
great.
It's
I
incredible.
want Lizard to be in this and to nobody acknowledge him.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
And
just-
nobody
basically what
talk
it
to
looks
him.
like.
Yeah.
He even at one point goes like, and they're just like, "Don't talk to him. Don't look at me,
Yeah.
guys.
Make
Just
eye contact
fucking
with
look
him.
forward."
Maybe he'll think we can't see him.
God damn!
This-
How did he get on the memo? How did he get
Yeah.
on the listserv?
It's the one guy you forget is in the group text.
Yeah,
Like,
shit.
shit, now he's going to show up. God
He's
damn
gonna
it.
be invited. God damn it, the lizard. What a piece
This-
of shit.
This movie for me, it's like a lottery ticket, or it's like you ever see you see on Twitter, like BuzzFeed puts out like X best moments from the X-Files, and it's like, I know I shouldn't click on that, but here I go clicking on it. It's like that for me, where it's like I'm basically just scratching the scratch ticket, hoping that Daredevil shows up,
Yes.
and they'll probably give me like a scene. Like I'm guessing he
Yes.
has a scene.
Yes, it's perfect. It's
yeah.
perfect.
That's
Yeah, I
what it
can't-
is. It's like, ooh, maybe the thing you want to happen is going to be in this, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. what I'm most hyped for is when they do the 3-man Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Because
They're
you
go-
know that
they're
that's
gonna
going to
do
be so much like the hello fellow kids kind of shit. It's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be, they're going to fuck it up because they always do. It's going to be like, did you guys see Free Guy?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's going to be like all of that movie.
right.
Well, and
It's just
they
gonna be
literally
reference after-
do the 3 Spider-Men pointing at each other in the end of Spider-Verse. So
Right,
it's like they've
yeah.
already done it.
They're going to
yeah.
do it again, and it's going to be awesome because then I'm going to be like, yes, right into my veins.
I hope
This is
they
what
bring
it
in
is
the-
now. These are movies.
I hope they bring in the other Mary Janes and they all fall to their deaths.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
Yeah, because
Good
they're doing
Lord.
that. They're hinting that, like, ooh, she's gonna. That's the thing she does. She falls to her death.
Well,
and
I
you know
mean-
she's not gonna.
I mean, only one of them died, and it wasn't Mary Jane. Like every single movie, his love interest falls from a great height because he's Spider-Man and he has to swoop in and save him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
Like
thing.
But that's like-
that shot is in every Spider-Man movie. It's only
Right.
it's only wound up in a death one time.
And
But yeah.
the cowards.
It's
And there's
a-
been 3 iterations of Spider-Man now. Not a single hero amongst the writing crews of any of those. That, Mary Jane's falling, Spider-Man's catching up, catches her, and then they like kiss or whatever. What should really happen is that he just slowly churns her with spider web and cocoons her. That's what
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah.
That's
big, terrifying.
no one
cocoon,
has ever
yeah.
taken that leap. And you know what? I'll take Marvel. Call me up.
Yeah.
You get ideas like
Marvel
that.
call
Money
Abe.
on the table.
Churn her into a cocoon.
Yeah. Oh, what's up,
whatever.
Danger?
No, I want like a bunch of vortexes to open and just it starts raining Mary Janes.
Yep.
And they're just they're just all slamming the ground.
Screaming into
it's just their
existence.
only fate.
Yep.
God damn. Yeah, they could really go anywhere they want, but they're gonna do the milk toast stuff, which is fine because it's
It's a
Disney.
blank check.
Whatever.
What they're gonna do. That's the thing is that they're gonna they're gonna use the weirdness to get away with plot holes and working in whatever they want. It's a blank check. They aren't gonna use the weirdness to be genuinely that weird. Like I'm sure it'll be really cool visually, like Doctor Strange was. Like that shit was beautiful. That was really cool. But like, I mean, again, that's what they're aiming for. They're not trying to be Rick and Morty with this. Like,
No.
why would they?
Yeah.
So,
Why would they?
it's not like it's not a complaint. It's just that's what it is. Do we
Yeah.
have any more thoughts on Spider-Man: No Way Home?
Moving on.
Nope.
Moving on. All right. Well, the next trailer is for Don't Look Up. This is Netflix. This is McKay, right? This is
Yeah, this is Adam McKay's next movie.
the idea is there's a meteor that's going to hit the world. These scientists let people know, and everybody is comically, I would say unrealistically,
Yeah.
okay with it, and like it really feels like the goth kid at the party, like thinking how stupid the world
right.
is.
It's 2 hours of somebody calling us sheeple. I feel like.
Yeah, it's Idiocracy, another movie that I liked, but then when you go look back on it, it's like, it's got like a weird little eugenics-y thing to it. Whenever there's like that angle, which is like everybody's stupid but me, whether it's a stand-up comedian or like a movie, it usually dates itself pretty fast. I feel like
at least Idiocracy, that's like from jump, that's like the given, and they don't like the jokes are always look at how stupid they are, but it's not like look at how horrifying.
Right.
Like this movie seems like, and this is why I'm really worried about it, because Adam McKay does the satire thing. Like he's been twice now shown, we like this, and I think it's, I don't know, I don't like it because it's like the show don't tell thing. He just does constant telling, and so I'm not a big fan of that. And this just seems like, it's a satire. Yeah, it's like a South Park episode or something like that. But they're gonna cash in time and time again because it's serious, and it's just the way that like McKay does it. They just always they always make sure it's going to be like, oh, isn't that horrifying? And I'm like, I can only watch that scene like twice or three times before I'm bored of it.
They want it to be like, this is true. This is how, like, it's the thing where it's the argument that you have with an imagined person in your head. It's just very straw man.
Yeah.
And I say the left does it a lot. There was that news about what's her name from Mandalorian. She's going to be in like a movie
Hunter
about Joe Biden.
Yeah, Hunter Biden movie. Yeah.
And people are outraged about that. I'm like,
why do you
we
care?
do it all the time.
Why do you
we
care?
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the left does it all the time with W. And well, I guess this American Dreams. I always think about that movie because that movie is so dated. It's very funny, and it's always dated because it's like the most cynical thing they can think of. Turns out to not be cynical enough sometimes. I don't know.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm like. How does this movie end? That's the only reason I'm gonna go see it. Is I want to know what is it just gonna? Are they gonna just pull like they hit and everyone dies?
Yeah. Here's. What I will say is I really enjoy Adam McKay's films. I really do. Like, when I watch them in the moment, I always enjoy them. I haven't seen Vice, but it's this overall idea. It's like, it's anti-Sorkin to me. Like, Sorkin is pandering in the most optimistic way of America, and this is pandering in the most cynical view about America. Like the part where she's on the news and the news is like and like not caring. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like what news show is like?
And we
this?
see in a later shot that Cate Blanchett and Leonardo DiCaprio are in a hotel room and she's like not wearing many clothes. So like there's going to be this weird Big Lebowski-esque like movement into the crazy, down the rabbit hole, so to speak.
Right.
I don't know. It seems like it's occupied with just making an entertaining thing, which is, fine. I mean, it's going to be like The Big Short. That's what I think it's going to be.
I would say The Big Short was educational. I think this stuff just feels like screaming into a void. It's like the people who watch it aren't going to be changed by it. It's just people who are already frustrated by like anti-science in America.
And so that's kind of why I don't understand it. Like the satire is so heavy-handed and obvious. It's like, who is this for?
Right.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's blowing off steam.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's like we really got their goat.
Yep.
Right.
We sure showed those climate change deniers. It's
like, they're gonna hate us more now.
Yeah,
that gives me great pleasure.
It's just like I don't think this works for changing anybody's mind. It's just to laugh at those people.
And not even in a mind-changing way. It's just like, as a piece of satire, I don't understand the purpose of this movie. Like,
right?
Because again, who is it for? You're preaching to the choir with this movie, and you're doing it in the loudest, most obvious way. representing climate change with a meteor that's going to blow up the entire planet. So it's like, I just don't like who the like. I don't know. This movie, this trailer baffles me.
It's a very like blunt instrument. You
Yeah.
know? Like there's nothing clever here. It's not. Yeah, it's not something where you watch it and then you go, "Oh, this was like." A movie that I think will make a lot of people roll their eyes is like fucking Darren Aronofsky's Mother, which also has
Jennifer
Lawrence in it, which is someone like myself who had no idea what the Bible says. I didn't pick up on it right away, but it was like, oh, I see what you're saying here. Like I had to figure that out later. That's at least presenting something in a way that's like we're gonna, you know, it's all symbolic. Which again, that movie, I liked that movie. I understand if other people, because I think that one really slathers it on thick too. And again, the idea is like with stuff like that, it's like I don't feel like anything was accomplished except that I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
Like the characters you're presenting just frustrate me.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, it feels like everything's a caricature where it's like, you know, it feels like that very like, again, that liberal thing of like, oh yeah, if there was a comet coming, they'd deny that too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, maybe, but I don't need to see that in a movie.
Right.
I don't know.
And it seems doubtful.
Right.
Like let's not just push aside the idea that, like, if you were told, oh yeah, now we verified it, all these science nerds have told us there's a comet hitting, I think you'd be. Well, I'm sure there would be people who are like, I think they're lying because they want, you know, like the QAnon or whatever. But like the premise of the satire is so ridiculous.
Yeah,
I feel not even the people that we hate that are in, you know, Congress are.
Here's what I'll say about that.
Insane.
And this is why I don't like to say stuff like make those predictions. Is if you go back and watch Idiocracy, the problem in Idiocracy is that they don't have enough water, and their solution is to actually listen to the smartest person, who gives them suggestions, and that was unrealistic. Like, we've now learned, nope.
It's true.
That's not...
Life is...
We won't even do that.
Often stranger than fiction, but this just feels like a posit that is like, when you're confronted with the end of days, and it's verifiable. I don't know. It just feels a little too much. Because then it's just over, and then it's just over, so...
Again, it just goes back to, I'm not sure what the point of this is.
Right.
What Tom is saying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who it's for. I like everything I've seen of Adam McKay, so like it's like W, where it's like, yeah, I like Oliver Stone, but that film felt like it was just for nobody.
'Cause it's
it was
fun.
just blowing off steam.
And he's a comedian in his heart, so it's going to have funny sequences, and the cast is going to be off the chain.
The cast looks great.
You know, it'll be a thing to watch.
Yeah.
One Friday, many Fridays from now, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah,
and then you'll watch it,
yeah.
and then you'll forget it, and then our lives will move on.
Right, and to be fair, for all we know, there is a message in this that's more complicated.
more nuanced.
Yeah, for
More
all we know, we're
nuance.
responding to a trailer. Maybe Adam McKay, this will be his masterpiece, and he'll blow all of our socks off. I don't know. I don't see it.
He might.
Yeah,
he might. Yeah.
It's more about how this is being advertised. You guys want to talk about the outfit?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I do. Oh man,
Perfect name. Perfect name.
Mark Rylance being Mark Rylance is shit. Just a
Yeah,
soft-spoken old man just wants to make his clothes, and then the
my
mafia
God.
comes in.
Like
He wants
Ready
to make
Player
his-
One. He crafts all this shit. Hell
He
yeah.
wants to make his outfits, Tom.
I know,
Outfits.
Dave. It's a perfect title.
I know. This is for people who haven't seen it. It's a guy who makes suits for a lot of like mob people, and then I guess a mobster shows up. I assume because he just has nowhere to go in the moment, and he basically holds him and his daughter hostage and is like, I have like a magic gun or something, and everybody wants this. I assume it was a gun used in a crime. And so he basically just like is like, you're gonna help me. And so this sweet old man basically has to start like dealing with this tense mob situation. And that's it.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah, I mean,
looks good.
shit escalates, but yeah.
Shit
Oh, yeah.
escalates, and I feel like that's okay. So this is like a weird Tetris thing that my brain did when I watched this. Is that all trailers given trailers these days, more often than not, give you almost the entire plot,
Yeah.
right?
And this is no different.
And this is no different, except you'll notice that, like you say, and then that happened, and like what you described as all the other like outfits or whatever, the other, gangs, whatnot, are like positioned and posited to thwart each other / the outfit, which is what the trailer has declared, like the group, like the amnesty, I guess, like the conglomerate of mafias that are all agree.
outfit.
Yeah, it's the outfit. It's like
Hey, it's
just
the
watch the
fucking
trailer.
outfit.
But you only described up to Act 2 because you said, here's this guy, here's this circumstance, and then
Right.
I guess we get out of it. It feels like with movies these days, and this might just be me, I'm probably wrong about this, but my spidey sense was tingling of like, I think that this trailer leaves out a huge gap in at like what the Act 3 would be. And that makes me think that we're in a Kaiser Sose situation. And I'm eager
like
to
he's-
see if he actually is like running things behind
I like
everything,
that.
and so that they do this thing and they reverse. Oh, he wasn't just a nice man. He's just, Gus Fringing it or whatnot.
Yeah, I can see the idea, or maybe like a more of a Breaking Bad situation where he becomes, he like embraces it, or like his past is dark and he didn't tell his daughter.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Something is missing in the trailer with that, which
Yeah.
is just it's. I don't know if I'm right about this, but if I am right about this, that's a sad state of trailers. Is I guess my point.
Really?
That you can, I don't know, you can retroactively just like deduce these things based off how trailers typically go. Because I feel like it's so blaring in this one.
I go back and forth. Like, if I made trailers and I listened to our podcast, I feel like we'd greatly frustrate them. Because
Yeah.
Up Ahead is another trailer that we'll get to that tells the entire story of the film.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, beautiful, perfect.
Well,
like, it's just like, it depends on the movie. A lot of these, like, this is one of those movies where I kind of do need to know at least the first half in the trailer, so I can want to watch it. But you're right, Abe. I do get a sense that they're hiding something. Yeah.
Yeah. All I was going to say is, part of the intent of a trailer is to convince theaters to pick up the movie. So that's one reason why they give away so much.
Right. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's not like they want to. It's not like
Yeah.
the directors. Most directors, we've seen it a bunch of times, being like, "Man, I wish that wasn't the trailer they made."
Yeah. 'Cause they're made by marketing companies. They're not made by the
Yeah,
director.
we're putting the cart in front of the horse a little bit, because now trailers have to compete with other trailers. They don't have to compete with other movies. And so when the most spectacular trailers started coming out, you had this feeling of going to the theater and saying like, God, I want to watch that thing. Why? Because it looks so awesome.
Yeah.
For XYZ reasons. And since the bar's kind of been set with like, yeah, you hold one or two things back, but for the most part show all the glory of it. That means that I don't know, it's tough to make something that's as like this isn't lower budget, but something that is more, I don't know.
Weirder.
Seems blandly. Yeah. It's weirder, but it's like it's just people in rooms talking.
Yeah. I would argue this is also a problem that's existed forever. Because if you ever go back and watch, like, there's obviously like the trailer for Alien or The Shining. There's these ones that's like, holy shit, that's amazing.
Right.
And like, you wonder why haven't more trailers done that? And they really should. But then you watch the other trailers during that era, and you're like, "Wow,
Yeah, they're real
these
bad.
are terrible." Yeah,
They're real bad.
I would say trailers are getting better.
No, they were refining the art of like getting people excited. That's something to look at and go like, "There's an art of the trailer." No doubt.
Yeah, for sure. I still want to see this movie. It looks good.
Oh yeah, the movie itself.
I fuck with Mark Rylance pretty hard. So
he's real good.
He's great.
It's the writer of the
It's a cool
Imitation
setup.
Game, which I only saw that once. I enjoyed the Imitation Game.
Sure.
Yeah. It is. Sorry, it is the
Yeah, it
writer.
is.
The director is also the writer of the Imitation Game.
I also like the era. I like the clothes of the era.
Give me some old timey dudes making some old timey outfits, but it's also like it's also talking about like the crime outfit.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's like poetry.
Yeah.
So, okay, you guys want to talk about Encounter?
Yeah.
This is
It's Riz Ahmed in an alien invasion movie with Octavia Spencer.
Yeah, and that's fantastic.
Sure.
Although I will say I got Bug vibes from this, in that I think we're gonna have the question: are there actually aliens?
Oh, and there's also literally there's a scene where bugs appear to be crawling beneath his skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this a soldier with PTSD kidnapping his family? That's certainly what the world is treating him like.
Yeah,
like
Yes.
that's clearly the idea in the trailer.
or what is it? Gimme Shelter. Is another one. We're gonna.
Yeah.
Because the nature of the heart of the movie is father and his two sons going on a road trip, essentially. They're obviously going to have a falling out where they like, Dad, I don't believe you. And that is going to be motivated by what looks to be like Octavia Spencer's character, just the idea of the police they're probably going to see on like a TV at some point, like he's delusional and here's why. Because it looked like they were doing some light PTSD stuff because it seems like he used to be a soldier. So there's a lot going on in this trailer.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the writers of The Ritual. So that's cool.
I'm into that.
I really, this is one where it's like the trailer isn't designed like a sci-fi. That was the red flag. Like it's designed like a drama almost. The trailer itself. So that's to me seems to think like this isn't gonna be like they're pushing that Invasion of the Body Snatchers angle, and I have the suspicion that people are gonna go in expecting that and then be really bummed out when they get like an emotional drama about this guy and his sons.
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like all of the alien stuff is just in the trailer.
Right.
It is being labeled as a sci-fi thriller, so I could be completely wrong there.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's
Another one of them. They're Amazon films, so
it's already got sci-fi elements. He's probably going to have, at the least, it looks like there's going to be visions of UFOs and stuff. But how this all shakes out,
I hope he gets all them aliens.
I hope, yeah.
Yeah.
The best case scenario, him and his kids join the aliens, fly up into space.
And maybe that's cool.
It'd be nice to see Riz Ahmed get a win against some aliens because he didn't do so well in Venom.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah.
Or
Absolutely.
Nightcrawler. Yeah.
That's true. Against the aliens and Nightcrawler.
The alien Jake Gyllenhaal.
Alien Gyllenhaal.
I think he's an alien. We can safely say Jake Gyllenhaal is an alien in that
he's
movie.
on the list of celebrities I think might be aliens. That's
I
true.
can see that.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I'm fucking down. I'm down for whatever this serves up.
It looks like a good setup for a movie. Looks like good acting. Looks like good, cinematic work.
I don't have to leave my house to watch it. It's going to be on Prime.
Right. Also, you brought up Gimme Shelter. That's what that's called, right?
I believe it is, but I also had a second guess.
And I brought
the
up
Michael
Bug.
Shannon one.
Are those both Michael Shannon, or am I losing my mind?
Yes.
Yes.
So is Michael Shannon just? Do we cast him as guy who might be right about something?
He's got that vibe.
He does. It's Take Shelter. Sorry, it's called
Take Shelter. Take Shelter.
Fucking bugs!
Like guy who can convince you. He should do a movie where he plays a cult leader.
Oh yeah, he's got the charisma for it, but he's also terrifying in a way that I don't think would be conducive to the beginning parts of forming a cult, where it's just like,
doesn't have that
man,
charisma.
it's just vibes, right? It's just vibes, and we're all having a good time. That I don't think Michael Shannon can pull off.
He does not have those vibes, that's for sure. Well, the next trailer is for Turning Red. This is Pixar doing, I assume, a puberty allegory, just because of the nature of this trailer.
Obvious, yeah.
It's a young girl who's doing great,
Saltines.
and then suddenly she hits a certain age and she turns into a panda when she feels emotions.
Big old red panda.
Yeah, this one felt like I'm sure this is good. It's Pixar, but it really felt like writer's room where someone was like, Psh, I don't know, man.
Well, it's just the Hulk. Like, I mean, it's a very obvious.
It's just the Hulk.
It's very, very obvious, and that's fine. I don't know.
Yeah, it lacks the cerebral aspect that I think we've come to expect with Pixar films. Like, what was their last installment? Soul. And Luca, and both of those, like, even they, which are, I'm not saying they're at the bottom of the barrel or anything like that. Like, it seems like a necessary part of even the more recent years of Pixar that they've wanted to stick true to this, like, high concept. This doesn't really have a high concept that we're unfamiliar with. Like, it's almost every superhero thing. But it's not like toys can talk. It's not like there's always like a secret world of something. And granted, it has all that. It checks the boxes because they like reveal in the trailer, oh yeah, your family, this is a trait in our family because it's, you know, has like, you know, you are a superhero.
It's a real
or whatever.
Teen Wolf moment.
Well, here's the thing.
Like this, like the scene where his stupid ass wolf dad is like, "No, you got the change."
But it doesn't feel like enough of a high concept, right?
But
like,
or maybe it's like
mean?
a movie like Hereditary, where it's not about puberty, it's about mental illness or something like that.
I hope it ends like Hereditary.
Yeah, I hope it ends exactly like Hereditary. But you know what I'm saying is that maybe we're misreading it.
True.
But also Pixar, they did Monsters University. Like, they'll do ones that it's like, this is just what it is. But
they'll
make Cars.
Yeah, they'll make Cars 3. They will make bad movies sometimes. Sometimes it just not every movie is good. I don't know.
I hate to have this idea, but since they've been bought by Disney, I do always imagine there's like one Disney exec in the brainstorm room, and every now and then they're like, all right, let's just do his idea. Jesus Christ. Because I know, like, when they first were bought, Disney was like, now you're going to give us 1 million sequels. And they're like, okay,
it's the John Peters in the room.
Yeah,
we need a big metal spider.
Yeah.
Fine, fuck it.
Fine, we'll do that one. We've had a lot of hits lately. Let's just get that over with. It does look fun. Like,
it does look fun. All the characters are like Pixar-y characters, and that's always good.
Yeah.
I feel like these are the ones that kids like more too.
Yeah. That's, I think, what my takeaway with this one is. This is the first trailer I've really felt like, oh, I have now officially like lost touch with Pixar because they've found their roots again, or they keep searching for the roots. They stopped writing, you know, the Toy Story 4s and stuff for us, and they've reverted back to their original like kind of premise as a studio, which is good. But I am now out of that market. I am out of that, you know, finding those films interesting. I still am going to be there for the quality if the quality persists.
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
You know,
and
hopefully
it's
it
like
will for a
Pixar
while.
hasn't even been like, I was a teenager when Toy Story came out, so it's like it's not even like I was that little.
Right.
So it's less about it's
But
less
that's
about
time
that
you're reflecting on your youth. I don't spend a lot of time reflecting on my youth anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's accurate.
But
I'm definitely,
I know what you mean.
I'm definitely not saying our observations aren't valid. But I do think that if I worked at Pixar, I wouldn't listen to us.
No.
That's what it is.
We're not the people. Like, no.
Yeah. Bunch of adult film nerds like, I wish you had more of a meaning. It's like, shut up. We're making movies for kids.
Yeah.
The kids like it.
At least
this has...
Yeah, this has more than like your average, I don't know, Illumination movie.
Right. This also has an extremely diverse cast.
Yeah.
They're not whitewashing the voice actors. It's like, like fucking shut up us, but still, I do think it's all valid.
Midnight Special is the Michael Shannon movie, not Gimme Shelter.
No, there's Take Shelter.
Take Shelter. Okay.
The one where
and then there's Midnight Special.
Midnight Special is the one where he's on the run with his kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Take Shelter is another one where it's like, is he imagining it or not?
Right, yeah.
And then there's The Harvest, which I'm not going to tell you guys what that's about if you haven't seen it.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Let's just watch that movie.
Sure.
That's a fun movie.
Just silently watch The Harvest
Let's do that
together.
instead of the rest of this. Let's stop the podcast.
Okay.
Let's just watch The Harvest, dude.
So we have a teaser here for Halo, the series.
Yeah,
Oh my
Master
God.
Chief's back.
I don't know anything about Halo.
Damn it! I was hoping someone else knew about. I've never played Halo.
I've got not much. I can't tell you much.
Oh God, why are we talking about this?
I can't
It's got
tell you
Master
much.
Chief.
I know
I know that.
this show has been in develop. This show was originally supposed to come out on Xbox 360. Well, not at 360. Xbox One.
Is where it came.
Wow.
It was being developed with Steven Spielberg. It was as an original series.
That is
remember
also
that.
weird to me.
Yeah.
But okay.
It's if you remember back when Xbox One and PS4 came out, they both launched with their own television apps.
I do.
Basically.
I remember that.
And
How'd that work out?
It didn't, Dave. It didn't at all.
This is one of the writers of one of the Fear Street movies.
Sure.
Also the writer of The Beaver. You guys remember The Beaver?
I do remember The Beaver.
I
yeah.
do not.
That's the Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster directed film that came out right after all the racist stuff.
Oh, it's cool.
It feels like it's what resulted in a lot of footage of Jodie Foster defending Mel Gibson, because I feel like it was like, I just made this movie.
I just want this movie to go well.
Yeah.
Oops.
But I guess I'm wondering if they're going to do like a Mandalorian sitch with this, because Master Chief seems extremely boring, right?
He seems like generic space marine who says yes to stuff and is really good at shooting.
Yeah, I mean I know he's like a engineered super soldier. He's like larger than normal people. He's portrayed in this television show by Pablo Schreiber.
From Den of Thieves.
And that's all I can tell you.
Yeah. So we're like the worst people to be talking.
I mean, I'm not against it at all. I'll watch this show. I don't give a shit.
Neither am I.
I'm not against anything. I'm just don't know what. I don't
know anything.
I mean, the teaser is literally just shots of Halo stuff, and then it or what I perceive as Halo stuff, and then the AI, I assume, because it's like a space thing, an AI is like, hello. Master
and it's a Halo because there's like they're like on a ring.
I know
like a Halo, right?
Yes, mm-hmm. I know that because yes.
I'm so sorry, everyone. Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. Where I'm neither like extremely hyped or not hyped. Mm-hmm. I will watch it, and then if I like it, I'll keep.
I will continue watching it. Yeah.
And if the fans are like, "This is the best thing," good. I hope Halo fans love it.
It might be that the League of Legends show Arcane that just came on Netflix is getting like crazy good reviews from every. Yes, it's apparently quite good.
I hope I do live into the era where it's like video game conversion to live action or to animation storytelling. It gets fucking really good.
I mean,
they're that IP opens
hiring
up.
Like the same number of writers to pull off video games as they do for a TV show, so it stands to reason that
because how great would it be that we're old men, the three of us in our joint like elderly home, and like all the young kids gather around and they're like, we're gonna hear a story
on the beach that makes
and
us
we're like
old.
Yes, and we're like, let me tell you about a time when there was video game movies like Doom and Super Mario, and they're like, those movies suck, Grandpa. Those are the worst movies. That's the real shit there. Because then they'll have
that's what we had to watch.
Because then they'll have like
fuckers.
8 seasons of the fucking Witcher, and it's like up for Emmys and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, that's the future I want. Yeah, that's the
you.
that's the future liberals want.
Yeah, so Halo.
I'm gonna swoop in and nitpick a little bit there. The Witcher show is based on the novels.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair, you nerd.
It's a totally
You fucking
separate
nerd.
license, Abe.
All right, it's fine. Just after the podcast, I'll just beat you up then.
Yeah.
That's when I'll beat you up.
Oh,
I'm a bully.
That's,
You're a nerd. It's how this goes.
that's true. That's true. That's
That's
the
the
natural order. Yeah, we can't upset the balance.
You can't be right
That's probably
and
in
not
the
beat
fucking
up.
Witcher.
All right, what's the next one? Give us the goods.
It's the best one. It's the best film. This is the trailer for
Oh,
Dog.
right. This looks delightful.
Yeah, starring and also I'm
And
now learning
directed by.
Directed
I
by
cannot
Channing
believe
Tatum.
you left that out of the
Co-directed.
notes. Yeah.
and it's directed by Channing Tatum and the producer of Magic Mike.
Sure.
And,
And
let me
of
just
Magic Mike, I believe. Yeah.
Channing Tatum is like I think he might be the reincarnation of Buddha.
Sure.
Okay.
I have no
Yes.
evidence to suggest
Let's
otherwise.
go.
Look, he just wants to make us happy. Like Magic Mike, I love those movies. They're the most low stakes films ever made, where they're just like, we're just hanging out, and then we're gonna go to this party, and then we're gonna hang out. Like I guess the first one,
The first
is
one's
kind of
pretty
higher
dark.
stakes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But the sequel is just like, hey, we're just hanging out, having fun.
The sequel is just vibes, man. Just
Yeah,
vibes.
And this trailer this is the same, where they tell you the entire film, and it's like, what are you going to do? Not watch it now? And it's like, no, I'm going to watch
Sounds
it multiple
like
times.
delicious. Yeah. You know where the dog's going. You know what's going to happen with this dog.
Yeah, he's
you know
like
that they're gonna-
he's trying to get back to the army, and he's got to transport this army dog that has PTSD and stress across country, and it's about him bonding with this dog, and it looks
they're gonna-
delightful.
They're going to
and it
cure the shit out of each other. It's going to be great.
and it seems to have like an added thing where like it's going to be about PTSD in general. I feel like that's going to be on top of it, and it's just the trailer is just like showing the entire movie, just him doing just going on this adventure with the dog. It looks fucking I don't know.
It's chock full of scenes where they're like, this dog is too much to handle. And then other scenes where it's like, this dog is so cute. And and then there's going to be heartstrings because it's like, this dog, his owner is dead.
And there's no place in the world for this dog. And then
they're like,
and then
they're gonna-
Channing Tatum's gonna be like, if there's no place in this world for this dog, then there's no
Yeah.
place in this world for me either.
And if you look at the comments just on YouTube, it's, I don't have a dog, but people who have dogs will fight anybody for their dogs. And you know what? That's what this comment section is. It's just like, I will fight anyone who hurts this dog. This dog is the best thing ever. It's just people are
literally
here
gonna be-
for the dog. And it's
It's
dog
going to
movie.
be it's going to be Turner and Hooch. It's just like, this fucking dog. I'm annoyed by this
very
dog. I love this
sweet
dog.
thing.
They're going to try to take away my dog. I'm going to fight for the dog. And
Yeah,
now I
it's-
have the dog. It's gonna
gonna be
I'm
very sweet.
imagining there'll be a moment where he'll like give the dog away, and they'll have to walk away, and
Yeah.
it's like the music will swell.
Like Harry and the Hendersons, yeah.
Yeah, and he'll like go to the airport, and then he'll have to run from the airplane to go kiss the dog. God, what if it ends up being romantic?
yeah,
What if they do like a thing between
bunch of
they
little
probably won't.
Channing puppies at the end, little puppies
Yeah.
with Channing heads. There
Yeah,
you go.
Marvel
prob-
hired
He probably
Dave
won't
to write
have sex
your
with the
movies.
dog.
I'm just
He
trying
might,
to thin my
Dave.
competition.
He might.
Yeah, okay. If that's where you want the movie to go, why would you say that, Dave? That's ruining your brand.
I'm sorry.
Just-
I don't know if anybody needs to hear this. It's the cinematographer of Drive doing the cinematography for. I just randomly clicked on the
It's
cinematographer
really
for
good.
Dog.
Drive is really good
Yeah.
cinematography.
Yes, it's going to be like a magnificently shot film about friendship and bonding and the importance of found family and belonging
Sign
and
me
shit.
up.
Fucking perfect
Sign
film.
me up.
so fucking
Bring your
excited for
dog.
Yeah, bring your
dog.
fucking dog.
So I think this is the most hyped movie in all of Hypecast history.
Probably, yeah.
Easily.
No, I'm more excited for this than any of the other trailers on this list. Fucking Channing Tatum and a dog. Channing Tatum, he can do it all.
It's
he
a
can
slam
do it
dunk.
all. He can do the fucking dramas.
Mhm.
You know, he
Them
can do
dramas,
the Foxcatchers.
them Foxcatchers.
Yeah, and then he can do the Magic Mikes, and he can do the fucking dogs.
Yeah.
It's so like he disappeared a little bit, and so like it's also just like really nice to see him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just makes me so happy.
If you told me that
He did the
MGM
Die
Studios like had an algorithm, like the same algorithm for Netflix that decided that David Fincher and Kevin Spacey were the thing that everyone wanted in the day before House of Cards.
Right.
If MGM Studios had one and they were like, Channing Tatum, a dog, I believe you.
Yeah. I want to note that his next two movies are called Lost City of D and Pussy Island. And I really hope they're related to
Yeah, they're
each other.
companion
I hope
pieces.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like the wrestler in Black Swan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Just Don Juan DeMarcoing it up in both
Yeah.
movies. Just having sex with everybody.
Yeah.
There's like, what's next for Channing Tatum? I want to talk to his agent because his agent's probably the mastermind here. It's just
Yeah.
like, Channing, all right, here's how we go. You're gonna have a movie with the dog. Everyone's gonna love you. They're gonna think you're wholesome and perfect. Then we get to the real smutty stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Then you
We
start
just-
fucking.
It's just you fucking everything, sucking
Right.
dicks, doing it all. I'm just like, yes.
I
putting
should note,
coconuts in holes.
Yeah.
I do want to note Pussy Island is directed by Catwoman, as in
Hey.
Zoe Kravitz.
Oh,
Yeah. So now I don't know anything about that movie, and I want to see
neither
it.
do I.
I'm already
Yeah.
intrigued.
Yeah.
Already intrigued.
Tatum, man, the taters.
Oh, that's
Taters
right. I think they're an
screwing
item,
big.
right? Wasn't there a picture of them walking down the street and he was riding a bike?
Sure.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
good for
It's
them.
a fucking incredible
Good for
picture.
them.
Yeah.
This is great. This
Yeah.
is all great news.
This is the kind of thing we like to hear on Hypecast. Let's get to the last trailer.
All right.
Yes.
This just dropped today. Pam and Tommy.
Yeah.
This is a trailer that the moment they were like from the director of I, Tonya, I was like, oh, I'm now interested in this. I was not until those
Oh, really?
words. Yeah, I don't care about either of these real life people.
Well, I was interested because of all the people involved. Like, it's produced by Rogen and Goldberg, and then obviously I forget the director's name, but it's the I, Tonya director, and then all the actors involved. Like, it's Sebastian Stan.
yeah.
And Lily James as
Nick Offerman.
Yeah, Nick Offerman, Seth Rogen as the guy that fucking steals the sex tape.
Nick Offerman and Seth Rogen, perfect casting.
They're incredible. Like this
Yeah.
this trailer looks so good.
It's a series.
I know.
That's what I did not know, and that blew me away.
I'm guessing it's a mini series.
Yeah,
right?
it's gotta be a
It's
limited
It's like
series.
6
Yeah.
episodes
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You can't do multiple seasons of this.
Just like, no.
Or could you?
I mean, you could,
Probably not.
No, not with this star power.
but yeah, for you youngins, this is about the time that Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee's sex tape was stolen from their safe by a burglar who was portrayed by Seth Rogen in this film,
Yeah.
and then sold,
And put on the internet.
put on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's 8 episodes because that's Lily James and Sebastian Stan are cast for
Credited for
8
8 episodes. Yeah, it makes
Yeah,
Oh,
sense.
yeah,
okay. Then okay. So verification on
Uh,
that. Yeah. I mean, I remember when the photos came out for this project a few months ago, where everyone was losing their mind because they were like, Lily James looks exactly like Pamela Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have to say that luster has not worn off.
No.
When I like, it really is impressive. Like
Yeah.
the makeup work and everything in this project is really impressive. Even Tommy Lee looks good.
Yeah, especially Stan looks real good.
Yeah.
I'd also say
he's a
go
little
ahead.
too yoked, though. Tommy Lee was like a little skinny.
He's
motherfucker.
scrawny but muscular. But
He's
yeah,
tall. Yeah, he's tall.
Sebastian Stan, who even obviously he's also in I, Tonya playing Galooly.
Yeah,
Plays
I
a real
forgot about
good
that.
dummy. He plays a good dummy.
Yeah. Here's what I appreciate about this is that they're clearly kind of like I, Tonya, like a lot of this, what this person does. It's always like a kind of a over the top portrayal, right? It's a little cartoonish.
Gillespie, isn't that his name? Craig Gillespie?
Yes.
There we go.
Who also directed The Finest Hours and $1 Million Arm. He's got a weird career. But what I was getting at, he also directed the Fright Night remake, which is great. I love it. Is that he does know who to aim at, and what I mean by that is like they're clearly making Pamela Anderson a human who is sympathetic, like who is like they're doing that shot where he's like, I'm on that tape too, and she's like, not like I'm on that tape, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where they're clearly aware of where they need to be pointing their lens in a very specific way.
Well,
Yeah, that's right.
for sure. And then just in general, putting it from, obviously aiming at her, as you're saying, is the correct instinct, but just framing it from their point of view in general, I think was a good idea, because at the time it was just such a circus of a story, and like no consideration was paid to how huge of a violation of these people's privacy this is.
Yeah, it's similar to the American Crime Story impeachment,
yeah, exactly.
where we're kind of retelling stories from the 90s and being like, how fucked up were we?
Yeah.
We were so fucked up.
We were real
when
pieces
when
of
we
shit
did
about this, yeah.
And that's the stuff I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Point it right at us and say you're a piece of shit.
And that's the reason
Society.
That's the reason to do movies like this and The Crime Story and I, Tonya. It's to like, there's a perspective to this story that we did not get when this was a news story.
Yeah, going back to something like W, that was the problem, where it was like, there's nothing new here. You're just sort of punching the wall. And so like something like this, it's vindication in a way. I hope. I don't know how Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee feel about any of this, but I hope that's the idea here, because the trailer certainly seems to frame it that way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and they made Rogan and Offerman just like the slimiest dude.
Yeah, just real scumbags.
Yeah, real fucking scumbags.
They're putting it all on them as like, fuck these guys.
Yeah, they're scumbags.
Yeah, I mean, all the frames of them in the trailer are absolute scumbags. It's amazing. Their hair, everything, every goddamn choice that they've made. Oh my god! Yeah,
it's
it really
incredible.
It really is a great casting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
man.
stuff.
Good stuff.
Fucking this and Dog. Those are the
I'll
big
watch
winners
that.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put them last for that reason. I knew we'd go out and
Fucking
bang
A.
before our news stories.
And right before that one, though, Halo. The
Halo!
series. Just want
Halo!
you to know.
22 seconds of Master Chief's back.
Yeah.
he's
You
got
really
them
know how to
scars.
order them. Yeah.
He's all fucked up. Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right, news stories. Let's do news stories.
Yeah, let's
but
do
first
it.
we got some more people to thank. Thank you to Menashevitz Molotov says, the spice must flow, comrades.
Woo.
Thank you to E.T. the Extravagant Terresticle. Thank you to Cody Johnston's Time Machine Noise. Thank you to Pete for Pagel. Thank you to Glitterous, CFO of Michael Shannon's Chocolate Factory. Thank you to subscribe to Jason Pargin's Substack. Thank you to the Midnight Patron with patrons at midnight.
Yeah. All right, let me swoop in here. Thank you to Exploding Runes. Thank you to Andrew
Thank you.
McAndrew Howe Guire Howe. Thank you to Vincent with a Y. Thank you to Rev MD. Thank you to Dr. DNA. Thank you to Lauren Gucci. And thank you to Bootler Bootleson.
Oh, thank you.
Woo!
Yeah.
So, new Reno 911 movie. Hunt for QAnon.
Yeah. I mean, sure.
Yeah?
I recently rewatched all the old Reno 911s, and like I watched that back to back with like Strangers with Candy, and they're both like of their time and still very, very funny. And so yeah, fucking I hope we get to see the Quibi show at some point. Did that see the light of day anywhere?
Yeah, it's on Roku now, right? Roku bought up all the Quibi stuff.
Oh,
but I think
delightful.
I think this is because if you notice on the poster for this, like the QAnon is like covered up, like it's clearly pasted on top of something else. So I wonder if that's an oblique Quibi reference, since they both begin with Q.
Oh, interesting.
That is
They're coming for Quibi being the subtitle because they say they're coming for Q.
Yeah.
This is also Paramount Plus, so Halo and Reno 91111.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, back to back.
Back to back.
Back to back. I'm
hesitant
I don't
about
know.
this one, to be honest.
And it's coming soon. It's coming in like December.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was about to say the same thing. The QAnon stuff, it feels like you're just grabbing the thing that will get everybody's attention. I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, and they even have on the poster the QAnon Viking.
Yeah. And like
yeah, it's gonna be weird
I'm gonna
to see
have
these characters, and they're gonna be talking about the rarest peppies, and
I'm gonna have to see a trailer. I'm gonna have to see what they have to say about it, and like, it's that thing.
But
it's like
I'm worried.
I get Reno 911. It's kind of like when they did the X-Files revival, and they knew to address like that Mulder wouldn't be great with the internet, and so like. Reno 911, I haven't watched the new series, but after everything that's happened with cops and the QAnon, and like there's certain characters in that are clearly like conservative, like they never shied away from the idea that they were bad, abusive cops in the original.
Right.
But it's like that's a lot of stuff that I feel like they're going to have to address.
Yeah.
And so it's like I do get it where it's like take it head on.
Yeah,
but I am very like I need to see a trailer or something.
I mean,
here.
It's definitely in tune with like the kind of. The other thing is that Reno 911 was always meant. I'm not saying that anyone who's into QAnon is trashy, but there's something to be said about like the contestants. Like I don't know why contestants. The people who were on like the supporting roles on all the episodes of Reno 911. Like, it's like they were always playing someone who is like white trash or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is, what we kind of, so it's like there is kind of similarities there. But
again, it's like, how can they not address it?
How can they not address it?
It's the people that the world that they're in would very much have QAnon stuff involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just and there's a lot of trust that I have with this cast and writing crew.
Yeah,
because Reno 911 is legendary. So I'm gonna good faith kind of assume, all right, this will be fine, but it is a big offer. And they're kind of embracing the offer as if to say like, we're not going to act like at all that this could be a bad decision, because you don't market things that way. But like I'm sure there's a lot of hesitance and worry, but they did go ahead with it. So the minefield that is these topics and trying to make a comedy with these characters who, like you mentioned, Dave, are like 2 decades old, almost. Like they're from a different time, so it's kind of a time capsule in its own right. Is it going to work? We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah, it feels like this is going to be, hopefully, a very dated movie later on, too. Like where people, hopefully in like 30 years from now, are like, what the hell is even QAnon?
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know, man. The trailer or the plot that I'm reading is that they go on a hunt for Q and accidentally get stuck on a QAnon convention. That's what they're going. That's the premise. So they're stuck on that boat with a bunch of Q people. I don't know, man. We'll
I
wait
don't know,
and
man.
see.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Speaking of I don't know, man. Netflix is making a comedy with Randall Park, and that's cool.
That's cool.
About the last blockbuster.
And that's not cool.
makes me feel
That's really
that makes
funny.
me feel really gross, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
we're
they
gonna
killed Blockbuster.
Yeah, you guys specifically annihilated Blockbuster, and now you're like, well, what about a Blockbuster show?
Yeah, and you know they're going to be like, that nostalgia for Blockbuster. You guys remember? Oh, those were the days. And it's like,
Those
yeah, until
blue
you
cards.
fucking killed
It's
them.
the same as all like the movies that made us. It's like, oh, you mean like the special features we used to get on the DVDs that you fucking annihilated?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
It just feels like they're puppeting the corpse of
Yeah.
Blockbuster. It's set in the last Blockbuster. And that's also like,
They're gonna.
I mean,
be
that store is
self-aware
still
about
open,
that,
so I
right?
mean,
Yeah, and I'm
hopefully
sure
it
they're-
helps those people.
I was about to say, I'm sure they're very happy about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What are you going
It's
to say,
free press.
Abe?
I'm sure they're gonna nod to it too, because it's Netflix. Netflix has done that kind of thing before. They kind of have the same kind of humor about themselves, seemingly, at least in their properties, as like, I don't know, 20th Century Fox does.
Right.
They're fine with being made fun of or seen as like the Suits or whatever. There's
Right.
been Netflix jokes on Netflix, so they're gonna definitely be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna Netflix it," and then someone
Yeah.
says something like, "You can't use Netflix. What the fuck are you doing? This is Blockbuster for life." It's gonna be something like
Yeah,
that.
it's going to be, isn't it funny how we killed Blockbuster?
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
it does feel like morose in a way. You're right. There's like a sad, it makes me think of that, like old quote about, like how how like it's left with history is written by the people who are left, like that's
Yeah,
Netflix
here's what-
writing their history if they want to.
Here's what I will say also. Fuck Blockbuster.
yeah.
We have
Sure.
we have nostalgia for it, but they sucked.
I mean, I
Like,
have nostalgia for video stores, but yeah, I know
That's
you
what
mean.
that's what I was getting to, is that I have the thing that actually made me sad was there was an indie video store where I lived. They had a basement that was filled with foreign films, cult films, all these films you'd never find anywhere, and you still can't find. And you just go into the basement and you grab something and go, this looks interesting. And that's how I got into filmmaking. And then guess what? They couldn't exist anymore, along with the indie theater that couldn't exist anymore. That's the shit that stings.
Yeah, it really stings. I've gone to, in LA, and it's probably an LA problem too. They still have some of those video stores, right? And they're really cult. Because
Yeah, they have to only exist in big
they
cities now,
only
right?
can tailor to like a few customers who will spend a lot more money just to have the old media. And I was just like, and I've spent time watching movies in my life. I know a thing or two. I'll go in and I'll talk to those guys who are behind the counter or whatnot, and they're such assholes. Like, they really are the whole experience.
Oh, of course.
And I just love that idea that they got just absolutely decimated from a like culture and from a financial standpoint. It's just a non-starter, those things, and they just became bitter.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just such a sad kind of
I would
death
argue
of
they're
video stores.
they're always bitter. Like
Yeah.
every indie,
I guess,
like
yeah.
I love
Every
indie
indie
theaters. I
thing,
love
but-
them, but like
They were always
every
pricks.
interaction was,
Yeah,
yeah,
It's especially toxic.
they're always
now.
elitists.
yeah, they're always
Yeah,
real
'cause it's
toxic.
like-
yeah.
Yeah, it's like no, you're not just doing one shade of elitism. You're doing like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
it's
'cause they're like we're not like other theaters. We're gonna do this and require that and this, and it's like, man, you're exhausting. But still, I miss them. I miss them.
Yeah.
Yeah, today they're like the Leftorium now, where it's like you have to you know Ned Flanders' store.
right.
Like you can't just like open one of those. You have to be in LA where there's enough
Like,
humans
who are just
to like. So like now the last video stores feel like that's where they are, right?
yeah,
They're novelties.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Randall Park, so cool.
Yeah, I'm into that
Yeah.
aspect of it.
I by the way, that indie video store that I grew up with, after like the height of Netflix, I went in and applied for a job and they laughed at me. Not because they were being pretentious, because they're like, dude, we're not going to be here in a month. Like,
Yeah.
it's adorable that you think
this is
place
a
to get a job.
You walked into a graveyard.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad that that happens. But, you know, is this not better?
That's what I'm saying, is that, like, for progress to happen, things that we love do have to go away.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's just how progress happens.
That's how the world works, yeah.
That's how the world works. And so you have to accept it, and it is bittersweet. But yeah, personally with Blockbuster, I'm like, I have no like nostalgia or love for Blockbuster. They always kind of sucked. They were where I'd go when I couldn't go to other video stores because they were a nightmare. And then when streaming happened and stuff, they didn't change. They didn't do anything. They like tried at the last minute, I remember. And it was like, too late, bro. You didn't look at, you didn't figure out what was going on.
Yeah, all the things you're talking about, like moving on and how like things need to die for progress. These are all going to be themes in this comedy, like, which makes it all
maybe.
Like, it's going to be probably a heartfelt examination of these kinds of things about what it means to be the last of something and how Blockbuster, quote, represented something, but progress marches forward. And it's just funny that we write stories about that too. Like, it's this Ouroboros that makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, I do think a lot of problems in this country come from people having that trouble. Like stuff like moving to renewable energy and stuff. A lot of it's very practical. It's like people who are like, I need a job. Like, if you get rid of my industry, then I need a job. But like, there is that emotional aspect. So if it does address that, that's actually the way to go, right?
I think that's the way to go if they want to be honest. I think it will probably start off as just a haha, remember Blockbuster?
I was going to say, it's probably going to be that thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Speaking of the future, Miramax is suing Quentin Tarantino over Pulp Fiction NFTs.
Sure.
Yes.
Everything we just said about progress, I don't think that's what NFTs are. Maybe I'll eat those words, but
no, it's a MLM.
Yeah, it's an MLM, right?
Yeah. That's it.
It's an MLM, but it's grabbing people like Quentin Tarantino, although that is the least surprising director
of course,
to get into NFTs.
Yeah, I was very surprised by that
which director
too.
famously chases trends?
Yeah. The reason I included is why. What's interesting is that I've signed one contract about a script, and I remember this where it's that you get the right to publish your script. Like, you always retain the publishing rights of your script.
If you want to make a anthology of your scripts or whatnot, you have all publishing rights.
Yeah, if people ever wondered, like, they go to a bookstore and see a script, like, if you buy it, you're probably giving the screenwriter money. So that's something to keep in mind if you like that screenwriter. But that's what's interesting, is that he wanted to do like NFTs of the script, I think.
Yeah.
And now there's a question of, well, does that cover the publishing rights? Is that publishing, or is it something else? Miramax is saying it's something else.
This is, I think, actually a more... It's so silly that it's Quentin Tarantino, and
it's perfect.
Everything is perfect because the world is so strange. But this is going to be like, you talk to any IP lawyer and they are fucking losing their minds right now.
Yeah,
like they are talking. They're like, this is like next level shit. This is like the new next 20 years of being a lawyer in IP law now.
Yeah,
is like what. Because it's a rehashing.
It's the real winners,
there's gonna like, it could be this one, or they settle, or it could be like the next one or the next one. But there's gonna be something that completely changes the definition, how ideas are transmitted throughout the ether, and whose ownership of what. It's just always constantly evolving. NFTs are, it's true, a part of that the most recent trend of kind of talking about this, but it's always been here. It's
right.
It like before when it was just studios, there wasn't publishing rights because everything was just the studio. The writers were everything you did was owned by MGM or whatnot.
Right.
Like there was
they give you some cigarettes.
Yeah, it only took our tours to come around to say like, no, we want a piece of the pie.
It's a box of crackers, kid. Get out of here.
And you got like your Spielbergs and your Lucases who really were like, we're going to work outside the studio system because of these very definitions. And now we're getting Tarantino, ever the, fucking protagonist of all of our stories. He's the one who's going to be like, I'm going to be the guy who's going to be a part of the case that redefines what like rights to ideas and rights to scripts are. It's fascinating.
Yeah. The internet definitely created that big one where it was like there's so many questions with streaming where it's suddenly like, oh, okay, how do people get paid based on this? It's a new frontier with all that stuff. NFTs feel like a thought exercise for like legal students.
Right.
Like that's what it feels like. It's like And they might not even be around, but they might change some laws, which is going to be weird.
The concept will be around, but like really, here's the weird thing about it is that the actual mechanizations of the now, things like when VHS was a big thing, VHS, when DVDs were a big thing, DVDs, and now with streaming and Blu-rays on the way out, like whatever is your current most popular methodology that like the populace is like, this is how I want to view, this is how I consume media. These are going to be the things that actually matter and actually people get money from. This case, selling scripts as NFTs, like when we say Miramax suing Quentin Tarantino, we think of, wow, on one side Miramax, on the other side this guy, Quentin Tarantino, both names I know. This doesn't matter. It is non-real. There's no actual money being made here because it's pennies compared to the actual rights of ideas, which are being sold off to things like streaming. The actual place that it matters will never be talked about.
It is very funny how, like, in the age of the internet, and it's going to happen more and more, it's just very funny how every element in this is just something we've all made up. Yeah. Like, it's a script for a fictional story that is worth money that we made up. That is worth these NFTs that are made up money.
Like our movies,
like
baby.
It's the contract, everything. There's nothing actually real here.
That's all movies, baby.
It's everything.
It's also everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
It's arguably everything. It's it's fascinating, but this particular headline is more silly than it matters. Nothing should matter, but it's I think it's because the people involved, the fact that it's like so who is this? NBC News? NBC is like Miramax. Okay, people know that. Quentin Tarantino. Okay, people like that. Pulp Fiction. Okay, people know that. NFTs. Oh my God, we got to release this headline immediately. Like that's the thinking behind this fucking article.
It's just in general, it's a real like Rick and Morty after burying his body moment. Like it's a real I'm living in the Matrix moment. And that is the one good thing I think cryptocurrency and NFTs have given us, which is like a really good example of how we've made up the concept of currency in general. Mm-hmm. And then they're putting these fucking monkey pictures on there like this is worth something. Why? Because we've decided it has.
Yeah. Because it's a satirization of things mattering. It's like we get it. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been thinking about that since the internet created the idea of like an avatar or a digital identity. Like with the metaverse and all the shit that's happening now too. It's like there's so many iterations of this thought that it's no longer to me, even though it's a fairly new thought, like there's no one has really dug deeper than like Ready Player One. Like it's not no one's really talking about these things. I'm sure people are, but like it hasn't hit mainstream yet. Like the idea of like privacy for digital identity. Like, that is something that actually would fuck your brain up a little bit, of saying, like, I, Abe Epperson, have my own privacy and rights, but my avatar on this website has its own rights and has its own personality and has its own bank account. Like, these are concepts that I think NFT bros are, like, really, like, got a real big heart on for.
Yeah.
That to me explains all the monkey avatars and shit. But, like, this is just... Quentin Tarantino wants to get more money. It's not that much money. Miramax doesn't want to give them money because they're a corporation. Here we go. That's all this is. It's
Cryptocurrencies is also, it feels like a game of chicken where no one wants to be that meme of someone saying the internet isn't going to go anywhere. And so, like, we're seeing Matt Damon in cryptocurrency commercials. They're renaming the Staples Center. It was bought by Crypto.com. It feels like it's a lot of people with a lot of money all of a sudden.
I don't understand,
because we've introduced something that just hasn't been regulated yet.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's stuff that was already regulated in the past, but because it's in a new format, it's like the regulations aren't there yet. That's all it is.
Right, and it feels like in 5 years, the Crypto.com Center will not be that anymore, But again, it's this weird game of chicken where people are like, I mean, what if this is the future? Like, it's the idea that the internet felt like something that wouldn't amount to anything and then became our entire lives. So it's like no one wants to be wrong again and get on the ground floor of these things. But my gut is just like, it doesn't feel sustainable.
This doesn't feel like it matters. Yeah, it's promoting a conversation, but money also is made up. Why can't we have that conversation?
Right, again. Yeah.
I don't know. We don't need to have it into the NFT stuff. I just thought it was fascinating, given how legitimately insignificant this is.
It is.
Quentin Tarantino does not make his money from print publishing rights to his scripts. Definitely not NFT versions of them.
Yeah.
He's just being salty because he wants control, notices that there's an untapped market in terms of the regulation of how these things are going, realized he probably had a meeting with his lawyer and was like, hey, you said you want to make NFTs. We could probably, just take them from Miramax, And he was like, oh, really? Let's do it. That's what this is. That's what this feels like. But I don't know. Maybe it'll turn into a big thing. That would be hilarious. That'd be fucking hilarious. Quentin Tarantino will be the martyr which NFTs... What if this is our future? NFTs skyrocket, become
the beginning of the NFT wars.
The NFT wars, and Quentin Tarantino is the Franz Ferdinand of it all.
Yep.
Oh my
He's
God.
the Dred Scott of the NFT wars.
Jesus
Christ. And then, of course, the amount of electricity it's taking. It's just so funny to me that we're supposed to be the people who are like, let's repair climate change, and then we're like, ooh, NFTs.
NFTs.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's
what the fuck.
That's one legitimately damning aspect of all of the NFT things is you just can't justify that. Cotton money is so much better.
Money is sustainable.
Yeah.
Digital currency.
Although, I'll ask you, most of your guys' money is already quote unquote digital anyway, right?
Right.
It's in a bank, but it's not really, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know where it is.
As far as I know.
I hope they have like a little drawer with my money in it. I doubt that's... Yeah, I don't think that's how that works.
I hope this logic doesn't take us down the road that we're like NFT guys by the end of this, because I legitimately don't care.
All my money is tied up in...
I think I became an NFT guy over the course of this conversation.
Yes, me too. And I immediately am like... I don't care about myself anymore.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
I stopped caring about me.
Okay, so we have more producers to thank, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Big thanks to Tux. Thank you, Tux. Thank you to Ricky Cilantro. Thank you very much. Thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Norm.
Thank you to Space McNulty. Thank you to Oh Great, It's That Guy.
Woo.
Thank you to Nolan Mayton. Thank you to Andrew. Follow Marina on Twitch and Patreon at HeartFistBrain McGuire.
Woo.
Thank you to AJ. Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
Let me swoop in here. Thank you to Burrito Mouth. Thank you to Mrs.
Thank
Voidis. Thank you to the ghost
Thank
of
you.
Dave Thomas. Thank you to
Thank
Aaron
you.
Burser. Thank you to
Thanks.
David Knife Boot, Hinson MBA
Knife
CPA.
Boot.
Thank you to Christopher Robert Sparts Esquire.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mackenzie Fuck Shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick chill.
Thank
Thank you to Funky J.
Thank you.
And thank you to Pie Guy.
Pie Guy. Pie Guy.
Dave.
Yeah.
David. Dave.
I know what you want. You want to ask me about NFTs.
I want to ask you if you have an NFT that deserves more hype. Do you have a portfolio of NFTs that deserve more hype?
I do. This one is this is a movie actually. It's not an NFT.
Damn it. All right. That's fine.
It's called Beans. Like small beans, Abe.
Yes, I love beans.
Or like that beans prank where I guess these are beans.
These are
where he puts the
beans.
No, this is
I forgot
this is
about
out
that.
right now.
That's
All
a
right,
great
Oh, I
video.
never forget about that.
It's the best video.
This is out right now. It's getting great reviews from both audience and
I had
critics.
not heard of it.
Yeah,
Neither
me
had
either.
I, and that's why I was like, "What the fuck?" This is about a little girl named Beans. Everybody calls her Beans. She is a Native American and Canadian, and she exists in the 90s. I'm telling this so wrong. It's based off a real thing that happened in Canada in the 90s, where the Mohawk people were harassed because they wanted to build on their land. And this is from the perspective of a little girl going through all that. It's based off true events, but the little girl and the people don't exist. This is directed by Tracy Deer. She is a Native American. She has made a lot of documentaries about Native American stories. And this is, I think, her first fictional film. And it just looks really fucking intense and compelling. This isn't a horror movie. This isn't like a weird one. This is just like, seems like a really good movie that is out already, and I haven't heard shit about it. And it's called Beans.
Yeah, the trailer's really good. It looks super compelling. I love projects like this because they're like, oh, I recognize none of these actors, but the dialogue seems good, but the shots seem good. Like, this seems like a really competently made, like, indie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does. It I don't know. It just seems, again, really compelling. I think it's what I'm looking at, it's a Native American cast as well, which it would be weird if it wasn't. It just looks really solid. It's a good reminder of stuff we're learning way too late in the game, which is how recently these problems were happening and are still happening.
Yeah, and continue to happen. And it
and
seems
continue to happen.
seems to be semi-autobiographical for the director.
Yeah, she's in the interviews and stuff have talked about how like she was this age when this happened. She wasn't involved in it, but again, she grew up on a Native American like reservation, and like has had, this is very much like her telling her story through this fictional version. And again, the actual event that it's around is a thing that happened. So it's sort of fucked up just looking at it from that, where it's like, wow, I can't believe they were pulling this shit.
Yeah,
But at the same time, of course they were.
the 1990 Oka crisis, which is in Oka, Quebec, protesting the expansion of a golf course into native burial ground. That's a super compelling start, and I guess we're following our film's heroine. It's
Some real palpable horse shit.
Yeah, some
Right
bullshit
there.
is like, that the state is doing this. Fuck the state. I'm going to, in my coming of age film, I'm going to be a part of these protests.
And they're doing a very good job with like the trailer is showing like that she's a young girl. She's like 12. It's like very much Adventure Kid. Like she's like, yeah, I'm, the world is great. I'm 12. And they have a very specific moment where they throw like firecrackers at a bunch of people like counter protesting them, and they throw back a fucking Molotov, and it's like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, things escalate. People are throwing rocks at cars. It's like a whole deal.
It's definitely about losing your innocence.
Yeah, it's a coming of age film from a perspective that we don't often get in the mainstream movies.
I also got again, there's probably a reflection about like the elders, like the concept of doing what is right. Like at one point, the mother like turns to Beans and is like, "You can't act that way. They will come at you so hard if you even get out of line even a little bit." And it's that kind of teaching, the teaching of the youth of like the harsh reality of the world, dealing with, people who are bigots and hateful, That seems like a really ripe kind of commentary for, even though this doesn't seem like huge and historical like the civil rights movement, it's just about a golf course. Mm-hmm. It still has all the same stuff, So that's one other thing I liked about it, is it's like humble in its smallness.
Oh, yeah, because it represents a larger struggle anyway.
Exactly.
It's like it's just taking out one little sample from that. And, of course, like, this is why... Yeah, it's movies like this, the reason why we gravitate towards these stories is because they like, just work for storytelling, right?
Yeah.
Like, they work naturally for those things. It's like, well, clear underdog, you want to see, them succeed. Telling it from the point of view of a little girl is perfect, in my opinion, because it's the most heartbreaking perspective for something like this.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't say, it doesn't look like it's a tragic film.
No.
Like, it looks like it's just a drama about this. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it has some sad stuff.
It's got a lot up front. It's got a lot of humor in the same way that like Hunter for the Wilder People kind of has that vibe.
Yeah.
It's kind of got a twee vibe.
Yeah, it's slightly twee. You're right. Not in the way I didn't feel like it was in the filmmaking itself. But
no, I don't think it was beating our
head over it. A lot of spunky kids.
Yeah, it's very 90s, a lot of spunk, very charming.
Yeah,
I will watch it.
Yeah, check out the trailer, people, or I guess it's streaming right now. So, fucking do that.
Yeah.
Beans. Yeah.
Beans.
And unclear when the NFT of the screenplay will be available, but obviously keep your eyes open for that so you can get in on the ground floor there. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to miss out.
No.
FOMO.
Beans NFTs, folks.
Yeah, that's a sode. I believe we've done
wrap,
it,
baby.
Woo!
That's a wrap. An
That's
hour and 35 minutes. We fucking went long.
We did. Listen, we had a lot to say. We had a shocking amount to say about NFTs, and simultaneously nothing at all to say about them.
Yes.
We had that across the board for a lot of things. Halo.
Yeah. We talked for 7 or 8 minutes about 22 seconds of a Halo trailer. Yeah,
until we realized
awesome.
we weren't the guys to even talk about this, and it was all a mistake.
Yeah. Everything we do is a mistake. Abe, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your beautiful mistakes.
What do you want to tell people? What do you got to plug? What's going on, buddy?
Same old. You go to patreon.com/smallbeans. And Michael Swaim and I have a thing going there with a bunch of other people, and we have guests like these two mooks, and we do the same thing that these guys do, slightly differently, with different voices, different opinions,
slightly different mooks,
and slightly different mooks. If you're into these mooks, check out these mooks. It didn't work because you can't see me. I pointed at myself. You get it. I'm Abe Epperson. Thank you for having me.
I'm Abe. Have a great night, everybody.
Have a great night, everybody.
That's my time.
Yeah.
I'll tell people about our Patreon. Patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We have exclusive podcasts on there like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a maniac, and then we do podcasts with the Beans, like Star Trek: The Next Futurama and Spiel Boys. So yeah, that's all for $5 a month. You get access to all of that stuff. It's great. It's a great deal.
Yeah, man. We also got a store. Head over to GamefullyUnemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store where you can, where we have all a bunch of my brain stroked out. Where we have a bunch of cool original artwork and designs that you can get on T-shirts, stickers, posters, mugs, all kinds of things. So check that out.
Check it out.
I short-circuited in the middle of that.
You're just like, you were just trying to be Sonic. You had to go fast.
Yeah,
man.
I gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
Well, yeah.
Oh man.
Good job.
Shit. I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.